The most productive hours of your day are the ones you spend unconscious. You are just not using them yet. That is not mysticism. That is neuroscience. While you sleep, your brain does not rest. It consolidates. It processes the information of the day, files what matters, discards what does not, and reinforces the patterns neural, emotional, habitual that will govern how you think and behave tomorrow. Which means the last thoughts you carry into sleep are not just the end of your day. They are the instruction set for what your mind builds overnight. Most people carry worry into sleep. Unresolved anxiety. The mental inventory of what went wrong, what is still undone, what might fall apart tomorrow. And their mind, faithfully, builds on that. Reinforces the fear patterns. Strengthens the neural grooves of scarcity thinking. Prepares them, overnight, for more of what they rehearsed before closing their eyes. What if you gave it different instructions? What if the last signal your mind received before sleep was one of abundance, of worthiness, of success already in motion? What if your unconscious mind spent the night consolidating wealth consciousness instead of scarcity anxiety? That is what this session prepares. Not magic. Mechanics. The mechanics of a mind given the right material to work with while you are out of the way. Let your body soften. Let the day go. And speak tonight's final instruction. Set the last signal your mind will carry into the hours when it builds everything you are becoming. Read each line as a final instruction, the last thing you tell your mind before it goes to work without you. Speak slowly. Speak with complete conviction. Your sleeping mind will carry exactly what you give it. I am someone whose mind works on wealth and success even while I rest, consolidating abundance consciousness, reinforcing prosperity patterns, building the neural architecture of someone who expects to thrive. I release the anxiety that has been my bedtime companion, the running inventory of what is wrong, what is unresolved, what might go badly tomorrow, and I replace it with the settled certainty that everything required is already in motion. While I sleep, my subconscious mind rehearses success, playing forward the outcomes I have spoken today, strengthening the beliefs that support them, and quietly dismantling the ones that do not. I choose to end each day in abundance, in gratitude, in expectation, in the full-bodied feeling of someone whose life is overflowing rather than someone bracing for the next shortage. I release the poverty thinking that has been the last thing on my mind at the end of too many days, the worry about money, the fear of not enough, the calculations that do not add up the way I need them to. My sleeping hours are not empty hours. They are working hours, hours in which my most important beliefs are being either reinforced or revised, based entirely on what I feed my mind before sleep. I choose to be intentional about the instructions set to close my eyes each night as someone who has deliberately chosen what their unconscious mind will spend the night building. I release the habit of reviewing the day's failures as my final act before sleep, of lying in the dark and replaying what I did wrong, what I missed, what I should have done differently. Success is being prepared for me while I sleep, the connections forming, the ideas consolidating, the alignment deepening in the part of my mind that never actually stops working. I choose to carry wealth consciousness into every unconscious hour, the belief that abundance is mine, that prosperity is my natural state, that money and success flow to me as consistently as I expect them to. I release the 3 a.m. version of my financial fears, the inflated, context-free, sleep-deprived catastrophizing that has been poisoning my overnight hours and sending me into each morning already exhausted and already afraid. While I sleep, my mind is working on solutions to the problems I have been carrying, the opportunities one have not yet seen, the next aligned move that will become clear to me when I wake. I choose to go to sleep as a wealthy person in mind and spirit, holding the feelings of abundance, security, and genuine financial ease as the last sensation before unconsciousness, so that those feelings become the first thing consolidated overnight. I release the day completely, its disappointments, its frustrations, its evidence for and against the life I am building, and I enter rest as a clean slate on which tonight's instruction set can be written clearly. My subconscious mind is my most powerful wealth-building tool, and I am now using it properly, by giving it abundance as its final input and trusting it to build from there. I choose to wake up different, to trust that what happens overnight is real work, and that the person who opens their eyes tomorrow has been quietly, continuously upgraded by everything spoken tonight. I release the insomnia of financial worry, the lying awake calculating, recalculating, and still arriving at the same anxious conclusion, and I replace it with the deep, productive, regenerative sleep of someone who trusts their own forward motion. While I sleep, abundance is approaching, the opportunities, the connections, the ideas, and the resources moving closer in the invisible world that does not pause just because I am unconscious. I choose to program my sleeping mind with success, with the specific feelings of achievement, of recognition, of financial freedom, because the mind that rehearses these states overnight wakes ready to produce them in daylight. I release every thought that would compromise my rest, every anxiety, every unresolved argument, every catastrophic projection, and I place them down at the threshold of sleep, to be handled tomorrow from a rested and resourced mind. My body heals while I sleep. My mind consolidates while I sleep. My wealth consciousness deepens while I sleep. Rest is not a pause from the work. It is the most important part of it. I choose to dream in abundance, to let my sleeping mind explore the full landscape of the life I am building, free from the constraints of waking doubt, and to wake with the residue of those possibilities still warm in my chest. I release the scarcity that has been the ambient frequency of too many nights, the background hum of not enough that my sleeping mind has been reinforcing without my conscious permission. While I sleep, my financial reality is being shaped by the beliefs I have fed my mind tonight, and those beliefs are the most abundant, the most expansive, and the most aligned with my true potential that I have ever chosen. I choose to trust the overnight process, to give my mind the right material and then genuinely release it, knowing that what is built in the unconscious hours will be waiting for me in the morning. I release the need to solve everything before I sleep, the compulsive resolve at first instinct that has been stealing rest in the name of productivity, and I trust that a rested mind solves more in one morning than an exhausted one does in 3 days. My sleeping mind is an ally, a tireless, highly capable ally who will spend every unconscious hour working on my behalf if I give it the right instructions. Tonight's instructions are clear. I choose a night of deep, uninterrupted, genuinely restorative sleep, and I give my mind permission to do its most important work in the space that sleep creates. I release this day everything it contained, everything it did not, with gratitude for what it gave me and trust in what the night will build from it. I go to sleep tonight as someone whose wealth, success, and abundant life are already in motion, growing, forming, consolidating in the hours between now and morning. These are the final words your waking mind will speak before handing over to the one that never stops working. Speak each manifestation as a complete and confident instruction, the kind your sleeping mind will carry faithfully through every unconscious hour until morning. I manifest a night of sleep so deep and so productive that I wake tomorrow measurably different, clearer, more aligned, more certain of the direction, closer to the life I have been building. I manifest that my subconscious mind spends tonight consolidating wealth consciousness, reinforcing every belief spoken in this session, building the neural architecture of someone who genuinely expects to thrive. I manifest complete financial peace as my resting state, the specific, physical, overnight calm of someone who trusts their income, their trajectory, and their own capacity to build. I manifest that the ideas I need, the creative breakthrough, the strategic insight, the unexpected solution arrive fully formed in the morning as a gift from the mind that worked on them while I rested. I manifest a specific financial development in this season so timed and so clearly connected to the work I have been doing that it becomes the evidence I point to when I explain how my life changed. I manifest that the overnight hours become the most productive in my entire week, that the compounding of good sleep and intentional pre-sleep programming produces results visible in the quality of my waking days. I manifest a relationship with sleep so restored and so trusted that I look forward to it not as the end of the productive day but as the beginning of the invisible work that makes the productive day possible. I manifest that wealth and success continue moving toward me through every hour of this night in the decisions forming in the minds of people I have not yet met, in the opportunities arranging themselves in ways I cannot yet see. I manifest complete freedom from the financial anxiety that has been visiting me in the overnight hours, replaced permanently by the quiet, settled confidence of someone who knows their abundance is secure. I manifest that what I spoke tonight is already being worked on, that the sleeping mind, given clear abundant instruction, delivers in the morning something more than the evening sent in. I manifest a wealth of ideas, of energy, of creativity in the morning that is the direct result of a night spent consolidating abundance rather than rehearsing fear. I manifest that this practice of closing the day in abundance, of giving the sleeping mind intentional instruction, becomes so natural and so consistent that the compounding effect becomes visible within weeks. I manifest a specific income increase in this season arriving through a channel I have prepared for, or through one I have not yet considered as the outer expression of the inner wealth consciousness being built tonight. I manifest that my body, my mind, and my finances all benefit from the deep rest I am about to receive, that each is restored, upgraded, and more capable of producing what I want tomorrow than they were today. I manifest that the morning following this session feels different, that I wake with a clarity, a confidence, and a sense of forward momentum that I can trace directly back to what I chose to carry into sleep. I manifest the complete overnight dismantling of every scarcity belief I have been rehearsing before sleep, replaced by abundance patterns so consistently reinforced that they become the default by morning. I manifest a dream life so vivid and so aligned that I wake with its residue still present, the feeling of having spent the night inside the life I am building, and carry that feeling into the first decision of the day. I manifest that the universe continues working on my behalf through every hour of this night, arranging, connecting, preparing the ground for what I have been calling in. I manifest a professional breakthrough that arrived as an idea in the early hours, something my rested, abundance-primed, fully consolidated mind produced while I slept that changes the direction of what I am building. I manifest complete trust in the overnight process, the willingness to release the day, to close the eyes without needing to have solved everything, to trust that rest is not avoidance but preparation. I manifest that the wealth and success I am calling in are not paused by my sleeping, that they move through the night as persistently and as purposefully as they move through my waking hours. I manifest a morning so full of possibility, so resourced by the sleep that preceded it, and so clearly pointed toward abundance that the first hour sets the tone for an extraordinary day. I manifest that this night becomes a turning point, the one where the overnight work began in earnest, where the sleeping mind finally received the instruction it had been waiting for, and where everything that followed was shaped by what was built in the dark. I manifest freedom from every overnight anxiety that has been stealing the rest that makes everything else possible, permanent, total, completely healed freedom replaced by the deep, genuine, wealth-building sleep I deserve. I manifest that what is built tonight in my unconscious mind becomes visible in my conscious life within days as new ideas, new confidence, new opportunities, and new financial outcomes that carry the unmistakable fingerprint of a mind that spent the night in abundance. I manifest that sleep becomes one of my most trusted wealth-building practices, that I protect it, prioritize it, and use it with the same intentionality I bring to every other part of my financial life. I manifest a life in which my waking efforts and my sleeping mind work together in full alignment, so that what I build in the day is consolidated at night, and what is consolidated at night accelerates what I build in the day. I manifest the specific wealth that is already forming in the invisible, the income, the opportunity, the financial freedom arriving in my visible life at exactly the moment it was always going to, moved forward by the alignment I have chosen tonight. I manifest a night of perfect rest, and I wake tomorrow as the person this session was building all along. Wealthier in mind, clearer in belief, more aligned with the success that has been waiting for exactly this version of me. I manifest everything I have spoken tonight working through every hour of this night quietly, powerfully, without effort on my part, arriving by morning as the new baseline from which my abundant life continues to build. If this session gave you a different way to end your day, with intention instead of anxiety, with abundance instead of scarcity, subscribe. Come back every day. The overnight work compounds. The more consistently you give your sleeping mind the right instruction, the more dramatically the waking results shift. Like this video. Every like sends this session to someone who has been lying awake worrying about money when they could be programming their sleeping mind to solve it. Share this with someone who tells you they cannot sleep because of financial worry. Not as a cure, as a tool. A way to transform the last waking moments from a rehearsal of fear into a preparation for abundance. Now rest. Let the work continue without you. Good night and good morning to the person you will be when you wake.